This podcast is brought to you by the Down the Middle podcast and by the Foundation for World Harmony.
Come with me to discover the transformative power of kindness and the joy it brings. Join me as we explore every Monday morning simple yet profound ways to elevate your happiness, one gesture at a time.
Wow, fantastic baby, dance. I'm gonna dance. Fantastic baby.
Happy New Year to one and all. It's 2025. And if I have anything to do with it, it's going to be the happiest year on record. This is the complete guide to happiness. Thanks for tuning in, giving me and the world a opportunity to share happiness. It's about sharing, because if we're happy alone, that's not going to be too cool. We want the world to be happy. And through this show and through my efforts, and what I call the kindness revolution, because kindness leads to happiness, we're going to make the world a better place. So again, thanks for joining. Today, I have a very special guest, our newest, which will be, hopefully, if she agrees, because I haven't spoken to her yet, a couple texts I've exchanged, is a woman by the name of Pam Cooper. And she is ambassador number 10,001. She will be ambassador number 10,167. And she's the director of the Mindful Purpose Institute, because it's all life, happiness, everything's in our minds. We could make our minds up to be unhappy, which a lot of people do, because it's easier to be unhappy than it is to be happy. Because if you're unhappy, you could blame it on your parents, your siblings, your job, society, your color, your race, your creed. You can blame it on lots of different things, but people blame everyone and everything for not being happy except themselves. And it's all your fault if you're not happy, because you can change the situation. You could change your life. You could change who you're with, the job you're at, the weather you're in. By the way, speaking of weather, I'm still in Missouri, and as luck would have it, during my little vacation here, taking care of a little bit of business, it's going to be the storm of the century. Supposedly, in the next couple of days, 11 inches of snow is going to fall. The residents here I've talked to have never experienced more than 8 inches in a day, and it's going to dump 11. So I might be snowed in and have to delay my trip back to Guatemala. But I look at the positive in everything. I remember once when I went to the opening of the Bill Gates museum, I think it's the museum in Seattle. It snowed there for the first time in a decade or whatever, many years. And I thought, oh, this is great. It's snowing. Of course, airports were closed because of the snow. And you can't let anything upset you. You can't let the weather upset you. You can't let people upset you. You can't let money upset you. You can't let anything. Because if you let anything upset you, you let it. Now, I'm under the weather, as is Pam, she said. So, it's the show business. The show must go on. So excuse my voice if I have to cough a little bit, but I've got my cup of coffee. Hope you're grabbing one too. Oh, it's a new year. I hope it's the year of kindness. I really do. The world needs more kindness. On my other YouTube channel, Be Fantastic, I don't talk about the negative shit that's happening in the world. I call it the insanity of humanity. Too many wars, too much violence, too much evil, too much greed, too much poverty, too much pollution, too much of everything. And I think we could solve the problem by doing less of everything, using less, buying less. We caused the problem. I mean, you could blame climate change on people, and we do contribute to it, but it's a national, it's not national, it's a natural evolution of the world. We have volcanoes, we have earthquakes, we have tsunamis, we have all kind of natural calamities, tornadoes, hurricanes, cyclones, and that's in nature. If you live on the coast, you can expect big waves and flooding. but it's nice to live on the coast. I've lived on many coasts. In Belize, I lived on an island, Ambergris Key. In Charm, I lived at the beach. It was just fantastic. I'm from Southern California, as you all might know. But so this is the complete guide to happiness. And I only interview our ambassadors, albeit this Pam, who has agreed to be an ambassador, but I don't know anything about her except what she told me today, that she's the director of this Mindful Institute. And mindfulness is what it's all about, right? We need to be mindful of our actions, of our thoughts, more important than our actions, because our thoughts lead to actions. Unfortunately, this idiot on January 1st at 3:15 in the morning in Louisiana on Bourbon Street, this idiot went around the barricades with his car, intent to run down as many people as he could. He killed at least 10 people and injured another 35, I believe, and then had a gun battle with the police, and he's dead. One less moron in the world. He wasn't very mindful of what he did. Maybe he was insane. There's a lot of insane people out there. I've been to a mental institute. It was called Fairview Mental Hospital. My girlfriend at the time worked there as a caregiver, and I toured it. She gave me a tour of a mental institute for the criminally insane, and something you never forget. And then I asked to see if she would show me the women's ward, because they separate them. And she said, no, if you see the women's ward, you'll never look the same way at women again. And so I took her advice and did not go to the women's ward. But it's those things you never forget. And so as I travel the world teaching kindness, encouraging people to be happy, teaching them how. I think we need to be taught how to be happy. It's all up here. I think, therefore I am. Abraham Lincoln once said, folks are about as kind as they make themselves up to be. Very brilliant man. And as you might know, if you're following the movement, the philosophy, we have over 800 or WhatsApp groups. And every day I put out a motivational quote from someone famous like Abraham Lincoln, or today's quote was Eckhart Tolle, a very famous author. And he wrote, the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Now, how I make myself happy is I look at the positive in everything. So most people would say, oh, I got to get back to Antigua on a certain date, and there's going to be a snowstorm, and I'm going to be snowed in. They're thinking about all the negative crap that's going to come along with that huge storm. And that may be so. It's Mother Nature. I'm not going to let Mother Nature upset me. And if I have to spend more days in St. Louis, which I'm having a fantastic time, so be it. Because I never let anything upset me. If you let anything upset you, you let it. So that's the opening. So I'm being called off stage here. Excuse me. So without further ado, let's bring in Pam. She's standing by. I look forward to seeing her and meeting her and talking to her. And here's the thing: is people like well, there's 114 million podcasts out there, and there's a lot of podcasts out there, and they have millions of viewers. But I may not have millions of viewers, but I have viewers that all know me personally, one at a time. Pam has been introduced by Vida, our director in Guatemala, because she says Pam is the perfect one to be an ambassador of kindness. And so one at a time, we grow one at a time. We're in 145 countries. And again, she's going to be the 10,167th ambassador of kindness. I look forward to introducing you to her. I look forward to meeting her and seeing how she could help, because I look for people that say, how can I help? Not what's in it for me. A lot of people have said, what's in it for me? To be part of this global community of like-minded, kind people. And I tell them, I made videos on it. I wrote articles on it. You're going to look better, feel better, live longer, be happier, be more successful in business and in personal relationships, and help make the world a better place. Now, that's not enough to be part of an organization that's free. See, that's the big problem. It's free. People don't respect free. It's part of human nature. If they pay a lot of money for something, they really respect it. You buy a nice shiny new car, and you clean it, and you take care of it. Someone gives you a car, you let it run down. It's just human nature. And I call human nature and the predicament we're in the world with the wars and the violence and the greed, the insanity of humanity. And I even wrote some notes on all the insane things that are going on in the world. It's embarrassing. But we want to talk about happy things on this show. Actually, a particular show, it talks about everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. On the other hand, FANTSTIC YouTube channel won't talk any negative crap. Won't talk politics or religion, only positive information. And our groups are only positive information. We only share positive information. We don't talk about the politics, the stupidity, the violence, and other things. Just positive stuff. They tried the Good News Network in America some years back. It didn't work. People don't want to hear good news. They want to hear bad news. And that's why the newscasts are filled with how many people died, how many horrific accidents there were, what calamities befell upon us that day. But they ended up with one little tidbit of fantastic news, positive news. It is what it is. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy the show. Again, I always have a cooking segment where I either cook something fantastic in all the places I've stayed around the world in the last 5 years, or I'm starting to film other people cooking fantastic meals because I love eating and I love cooking. So sit back, get your cup of coffee, and let's meet Pam. Well, everyone, you're about to meet our newest ambassador of kindness, Pam Cooper. And Pam, where are you at right now, or where are you from?
I am from mid-Missouri, actually Lake of the Ozarks region.
Missouri. Well, here we're going to have a storm in the next couple days.
Yep, I'm ready.
Ready? You can't fight Mother Nature. You just have to accept it as it is.
Yep, just get your food in and be ready.
So I don't know if you saw today's quote. You probably from Eckhart Tolle. You must be an Eckhart Tolle fan.
I am, very much.
And he wrote, "The primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but the thoughts about it." And that's mindfulness. My first question is always to my guests, how do you define happiness?
Happiness is a choice. It's a state of mind. It is deep within you. It's never produced from outside the world. It is who you are.
And why do most people choose to be unhappy?
Because that's the way we're conditioned, especially in this country. People like to be in control by having others in fear, which is false evidence appearing real.
I call it false expectations appearing real, but we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught fear from early on. I believe if you teach children fear, they live in fear. Like, don't touch that flame, you'll burn yourself. So that's putting fear. Let the child touch the flame, and they'll not going to be afraid of it anymore, but they're going to be aware that you can get burned by touching the flame, so that they're not living in fear anymore. They're just living in awareness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we're all parents. I'm a grandfather. Are amateurs, and we were raised by parents who were amateurs, who were raised by parents. So it's generation upon generation of doing our best, because you can read every book on the planet and still make mistakes, because we all make mistakes. We're human, and we love our children, but we make mistakes, and unfortunately, they have to live with those mistakes and do the best they can by meeting people like us, and hopefully being guided in the path of thinking properly. It's all here.
Yes.
Yes. Or it's a perception. It's almost like the Matrix. What you think, and I'm hoping that this year, 2025, is going to be the kindest year on the planet. Obviously, he didn't start off well at 3:15 in the morning on the first with that idiot killing 10 people in on Bourbon Street. That's a travesty. And there's so
Mhm.
much violence in the world, and there's so much evil and so much greed. And I call the situation, because you haven't heard from me yet, the insanity of humanity. And what we've been able to accomplish in 200 years to our planet that's been around for 4.5 billion years is disgusting. It's truly
Yeah,
disgusting. But we caused the problem. That's what everybody wants other people to solve the problems for us.
yeah,
We polluted the oceans, the rivers, the streams, the lakes, the atmosphere, the lands, and outer space. We did it. The dinosaurs didn't do it. We did it.
yeah.
So if we just take accountability for our actions and and be kind to people, you
Yep.
know, be
Yeah.
kind, I think, are the two words that will save the planet.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I completely
So
agree with you.
as I cross paths, at least in the last 5 years since this mission of mine has been going on, I ask people to try to follow these three commitments in life. And I'm going to ask you now. And if you say yes to all three, you become what's called an ambassador of kindness. The first, most important commitment in life, and the hardest commitment you'll ever do in your life, is to be kind to yourself. That's to
I
love
absolutely.
yourself, to accept yourself as you are. You know,
Mhm.
when you love yourself, people will love you. And the analogy is Pam comes first. Because when you're on an
Mhm.
airplane, the analogy is if the oxygen mask drops, put it on first and help others. Because if Pam Cooper is not alive, well, or happy, she can't be of service to the Mindful Institute. She can't be of service to her God. If you have a God, if you believe in God, your family, you can't be of service to anything. So you have to come first. And I always say, because I was raised in the movie business, Pam
Mhm.
is the star of a movie called Pam. You're
Mhm.
not only the star of the movie, you're the writer, director, and producer of that movie. So you are writing a fantastic movie because you're running an institute, which we'll hear about in a few minutes, that's hopefully helping a lot of people. It's
Mhm.
helping you because you're giving. When you give, I always say it's
Mhm.
better to give than to get. And if
Yes.
more people understood that principle, most people say it's better to give than to receive. I like to use the words that kind of rhyme together, give and get,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
um, they'll understand that they'll lead a better life. So that's the first commitment. We're down for number one,
Absolutely. I'm
and I can
down.
talk, and you and I can both talk for an hour on how to be kind to ourselves, how to love
Yeah.
ourselves, accept as we are, think positive, eat healthy, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
Second commitment, which is a lot easier than for most, is to be kind to all others. It's the
Mhm.
golden rule, and
Mhm.
that's very important because you want to treat people as you want to be treated.
Right.
And the third commitment, which is important in today's environment, is to be kind to Mother Earth. Use
Yeah.
less, buy less, recycle, repurpose. I'm a minimalist now since I've been traveling for the last 5 years, living out of a small suitcase, traveling to the best places on the planet. I really have. This last 5 years, I've got it documented on my YouTube channel called Be Fantastic. Because
Mhm.
if I didn't document it, no one would believe the luck that I've had. And I don't believe it's luck. I believe it's just being kind to people. They open up their doors, they feed you. They want to give me gifts all the time. And I say I can't accept them because I only have this small bag and I can't carry all the gifts that I've been offered. But it's nice to offer gifts. And
Yeah.
so I've just, the last 5 years have been blessed. And I have a very poor memory. That's one of the reasons I'm so happy is that I can't remember my problems if I have any. So basically, I can look back on these 2,100 plus videos and say, "Oh, I was there. Oh, I did that." And it's kind of cool to keep it's
Yes.
like a private YouTube channel for our ambassadors of kindness that are following me
Mhm.
as I try to tell the world to be kind.
Yeah.
So let's hear, that's enough about me. Let's hear about Pam and your mindful. You do a lot more things than the mindful, what do you call it? The
Mindful Purpose Institute.
Mindful Purpose Institute. Tell us about MPI.
Yeah. MPI is a organization, a I don't even like to call it a company. It's a collective. Okay. We have courses available through, and we're adding more courses now that I've come on as director, helping yourself, whether it be yoga, astrology, tarot, learn the chakras. I've got some energetic stuff that I'll be releasing. And we actually don't just do an evergreen where you go through the course and you never see a human. We have a team of mentors that encourage you, not just because of the course, but we want to help you get through life, because when you grow, there are some growing pains. So we're there for our students. We want to help them grow into a bigger light. We want to help them be happier, help them understand that life doesn't have to be chaotic and miserable and sad, even taking a course, you know, and that is our drive. You know, I love this company. I love this institution. They asked me to come on as director. And I couldn't be happier.
Well, I
You know,
couldn't be happier from what you just said, because I'm a visionary, not one
Mhm,
that could be like you, that might be able to remember all the courses that you have or the
mhm,
people that are involved or in the follow-up. I'm trying to set an example, and I want people like you to be part of it, because well, I have a memory problem, a severe
mhm,
memory problem, and that affects, what I am able to do. But
mhm,
I'm trying. One of my goals, and I have many, many goals in this mission of mine, they're called fire retreats, FIRE. And I like living in Antigua, Guatemala, where I live now,
mhm,
because there's a volcano, an active volcano that erupts every 15 minutes. It's called Fuego, which stands for fire. And the
mhm,
retreats, which I hope to put all around the world, it stands for
mhm,
Fantastic Inspirational Rejuvenation Experience. And in that fire
mhm,
retreat, you're going to go and you're going to learn from people like yourself and the people that you have in your team.
mhm,
You'll
mhm.
learn yoga, you'll learn meditation, manifestation, eating healthy, and you're going to be in an incredible environment with incredible minds, and you're going to open up your mind and your body to these things that you may not experienced in your life, and you're going to go home a rejuvenated person. So that's
Love
one of
it.
my goals, and of course, because I've got 10,000 ambassadors and I've forgotten 10,000 of them, what I do is I create admin, like Vida, who introduced us, is
Mhm,
not only an admin, but she's a director in Guatemala. So she'll be my voice, the voice of the Be Fantastic philosophy in
mhm,
Antigua. And directors are in charge of subgroups, which are
mhm,
states in America, or there'll be cities, villages in Guatemala.
mhm.
Because I can't answer everyone's questions, but I need people like
Right.
yourself that you might be a great gal for to be the director of Missouri is fantastic.
I would
And
be honored.
as director, you're going to get St. Louis, you're going to get Imperial, you're going to get St. Croix, you're going to get many, many local groups. Because when I first started this, I have this vision. I'm a visionary, as I said, and that everyone would feel like I feel. And then
Mhm,
as a director, they would just tell the whole country about it. But that's not how life
mhm.
works. So you got to
Right.
start in your community. So typically, someone becomes is invited to the group, like you've been invited to the group. Then you say yes to the
Mhm,
three commitments. Now you become an ambassador of kindness. Then, if you're really enjoying it, which you are so far, you'll become an admin to Missouri is Fantastic. And then, if you really want to get involved, you become the director of Missouri is Fantastic, which would be
mhm.
fantastic. And we need 52 or 50, how many states we have? I think 50 um,
Yeah.
uh, directors. And
Mhm,
that's how we spread it, and it's all volunteers. I'm doing this without any funding. Now, knock on wood, I've got a couple of deals pending, which would bring
mhm,
in an enormous amount of money, which would be I can pay my directors, which would be fantastic. Because you can only get so much from a volunteer, and I understand that's human
mhm,
nature. I've been in show business, and a lot of times, for a show, people volunteer or for a play or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden they get the last minute, they get a gig where they get paid. Well, they're going to take the gig because they're getting
mhm.
paid. Money, even though it's the root of all evil, we need it to pay our bills and to have our shiny things. I always
Girls
say
got to make.
money buys you shiny things and fake friends, unfortunately.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I had money, so I can talk from experience. I had the big yacht, I had all the trappings of money. But as a minimalist now, I so appreciate life, because I've met the kindest people in the world. You're part of an organization now that has billionaires, quite a few. It has celebrities. It's got kings and queens and statesmen and all kind of every walk of life, pretty much. I mean, not every, but quite a few walks of life. I don't know what the count is, but it's pretty amazing the people that are getting this. And Ian, so I need if you want to take on the responsibility of director, we have a California, and we have we're not big in America because I haven't been here in 5 years. It's the first time I've been in America for 5 years. And so it started with a group in Nigeria. The guy saw how lovely a program this was, and he said, "Let's start a WhatsApp group." And from WhatsApp groups, we've had over 800 WhatsApp groups. Some have disappeared because when I change countries, sometimes I lose groups. But they're all listed on worldkindnesslist.com, which is just your first name, Pam, where you're from. What city is it you're from? You're
I'm
born?
from Eldon, Missouri, actually.
Okay. So,
It's Lake of the Ozarks.
the Ozarks, really?
Yeah.
Everyone has a fantastic story, whether you're leading a big group or trying to change the world like you're doing, or just someone who's living in the Ozarks and hunting alligator. I've been watching this show the last couple of days of this guy who eats these bizarre foods from all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great show, but there's probably 300 people working on the show. So that makes it a great show.
Yeah.
This is one person. What we're doing here is one person, one guest, and one guy that edits it. So it is what it is.
Right.
Of my 2,100 videos on Be Fantastic, never a second take, never an edit, and it's just me talking from the heart. And usually when it started during COVID, it's just me giving advice what to do during COVID. Plant a garden, learn how to cook, read your family, write poetry, create art, sing a song. I mean, there's so many things. I think it helped the world in a way because people learned that they could work from their home, which was great. So I always look at the positive and everything because they always say there's a silver lining to every cloud, and there is.
Yes.
The storm coming our way. I'm gonna go out there and I hope it dumps at 11 inches because I'm gonna turn that camera on and it's gonna be it's gonna be hilarious to see because I've been living. I lived 3 years in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, which is 100 degrees plus every day. It rained twice in 3 years while I was there. That's a bit different than Missouri.
Right.
But the world is such a beautiful place. There's so many beautiful people. And we need a new age of consciousness, in my opinion, and to have you on board with your expertise. See, you're going to be the follow-up. And when we have these resorts, whether it be Sharm el-Sheikh or Belize, when I lived on the island of Ambergris Caye, you'll be flown in, our ambassadors will be flown in. So we have these great meetings and great seminars and great maybe conventions one day of like-minded, positive people that have something to offer. It's offering the mindset that
I'm completely with you.
How's it going, everybody? It's Jake from the Down the Middle podcast, and I'm going to take a quick moment to invite you to check out our show, which airs every other Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube. If you love pro wrestling, you're definitely going to want to check this out. We talk about the latest in pro wrestling.
AEW's pay-per-views are rough, man, and it's obvious, like, Tony Khan is booking for Tony Khan, and it's obvious because Tony Khan has clinical freaking ADHD, but the kind where like you can hyper focus on the thing you love. And he's like, I legitimately want to watch wrestling for 7 hours. It's like, Tony,
not everybody else does.
Hardly anybody else does.
We talk about some of our favorite things in pro wrestling.
One of the best promos ever. Like, can we just say, like, I had fucking goosebumps. And here's the thing, I know it's a work, but I'm watching that and I'm like, I think MJF might have duped somebody.
And we have a hot take here and there, too.
Nothing against Riho. It's just like, do you think the audience is f***ing stupid? Riho weighs 98 pounds.
The vast majority of great moments in professional wrestling have nothing to do with the move. Don't get me wrong. The moves are part of it. Cena's like, I don't even remember how I won. Everybody remembers this.
But the best part about our show is that you are part of the conversation. So check out the show and join in the fun.
Tell me more about Pam. Tell us about more.
I'm so excited just to listen to you. That is what this world is all about. I mean, I grew up in a very loving family, dysfunctional as it could be, but a loving family. But I grew up here in the country. I learned the plants. I can remember as far back as I can remember. I remember one verse from the Bible. It is, "You can do what I do, yea, you can do even greater things." That has been my driving force my entire life. I have seen things, I've got intuitive skills, kind of dance between the worlds, and I know the magic and I know the beautiful things that humanity can do, and I see the best in everybody. I mean, the only problem we have is good people making poor choices. And that's really, I do believe that. I believe people want to do good things. I think we've lost our objective as to what's really important and what matters. Go check out the Gulf of Florida. Nobody's even talking about it. Um, it's been my whole thing since I was 4 years old. This has been my gig, going out trying to find the answers to help people help themselves. I studied under all the great gurus before COVID hit with yoga. Dharma Mitra, went to see Krishnadas several times and do workshops with him. Leslie Kaminoff, I went to the Shivananda ashram. I met Tal Porchon Lynch, who was one of the greatest gurus of our time. She was an amazing woman. She was my inspiring story. She said, I got to sneak away we were doing a master yoga class. And all I wanted to do was have her autograph my book. And I said, "Would you autograph my book?" And she says, "I would love to." And she grabbed me, locked elbows with me, and went to the cubby holes of this yoga studio. And I got to talk with her personally for like 20 minutes. And I was at the crossroads of whether I was going to keep teaching yoga, keep teaching my philosophy. And this was before Mindful Purpose Institute. I was at the crossroads of just give it up and go get a job, And she was signing it. And I said, I was 56. She was 98. And I said, "Oh, God, I want to be like you when I grow up." And she said, "Pamela, you are the essence of yoga." That picked me up and that kept me going. I mean, I've been through some stuff. I'm a widow, I mean, I've lost 9 members of my family in 10 years. I have every reason to be a sad, pissy person, but I'm not going to be. That's not what they would want me to be. That's not what anybody should live their life. One of the things I teach my students is one positive person can negate the energy of 10,000 negatives.
Music to my ears. And I so enjoy hearing when someone said they had a loving family. I'm the product of 3 families. I was orphaned at 10, and I had a set of real parents, biological. I had a set of step parents and I had foster parents, all pieces of shit. All I had no love or guidance as a child. And for me to come out as I did, because a lot of people will blame things. If I didn't have those 3 sets of horrible upbringings and the beatings and the terrible childhood, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I wouldn't change it for anything, because I have a gift of positivity, how you could see the light at the end of the tunnel when it's very, very dark in that tunnel. And but I do need, I'll be the first to admit it, people to have a memory like you have a memory, that you can remember this and that and the other thing. And so I just want to be the visionary behind this, and get people like you on board that could carry it, because we don't know how long we have on this rock, and I need this, or I want this to be, I guess, my legacy. Actually, I have a book called Lester's Legacy. My real name is Lester Montacook III. I go by Dr. FANTSTIC now, because I have the prescription for a happier and longer life. And that prescription is, be positive, look at the bright side of everything, if it doesn't kill you, it's going to make you stronger.
Yeah.
And people take,
I put myself through some really dark episodes as a teenager. I mean, I have a little bit of indigenous blood in me, and you're either fire and you deal with it, or, you got to learn to feed that soul. If you don't feed that soul, it makes you wild, like an animal. And I went to the dark side, and I survived the dark side.
there you go.
And I don't even talk about what I went through, but use your darkest imagination if you want to, and I was there.
Well, you're a country girl. You're a country girl, right?
I am a country girl. I am a Southern Missourian. I'm half Floridian and half Missouri.
Okay, Missourian and Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yes, yes. But I agree with everything you're saying. We need to go back to the plant medicines. My grandma taught me those. 98% of our prescriptions are made from molecularly modified petroleum-based products. Did you know that?
Well, I know that homeopathic medicine, because it didn't make any money for the greedy big pharma, was outlawed in the 30s. Outlawed, and they're thinking about doing it again because it's all about money. It all comes down to how much money that these greedy capitalists can make, and they love poverty. They love diabetes. They love cancer. It makes them all a lot of money. They love war. War is very profitable. It's very. It's like we're barbaric in a way,
Keep people afraid, and they will never
COVID, great example.
accomplish anything.
COVID was a fear-based, manipulative thing that they made many billionaires. They're still making money on COVID, Nobody died from the flu the first year of COVID, which was pretty remarkable, right?
Yeah, nobody had influenza, right?
Because you didn't get $26,000 from the government if you died from a heart attack that first year. It's insanity, the insanity of humanity.
Yeah.
Greed. I think greed is the worst word I can imagine or I know of. And I think the word fantastic, this is one other thing I encourage as part of the philosophy, called the Be Fantastic philosophy, are words. Now, I used to have 4 commitments, but I realized 2 things. One is people can't remember 4 things. They can't remember the 10 commandments, that's for certain. But 3 is a lot easier. It's a great number. And the 4th was say kind words. Because as you know, words matter. Words affect water. We're 85% water. So, but then I realized that the 2nd commandment is be kind to others. And you say words to others. So 3 made more sense, So saying kind words, I love you. Have a fantastic day. The word fantastic is defined in the dictionary as unimaginably great and beautiful. The word good, which people say every day, is morally right. There's nothing wrong with being morally right. But when you say, this was a really good cup of coffee, you just said it was a morally right cup of coffee. So people don't know the words they're using. But when you say the word fantastic instead of good, like have a fantastic day, you look fantastic, that was a fantastic interview, it makes you smile. It forces you to smile, which releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, as you know, which release stress, anxiety, and depression. One word does this. And it's a giving thing. So I tell people, I don't care how bad you're feeling. When someone says, how are you? Look them in the eye and say, I am fantastic. Because it's a giving thing. It's an act of kindness to say that because you made them smile. I live in Antigua. I've told this story many times. When I pass an old Antiguan, I know they don't speak English. And I'll look in their eyes, because I look in everyone's eyes and smile. And I'll say, que tengas un día fantástico, which means have a fantastic day. And their eyes light up, their faces get bright, and they say, Guadamente, muchas gracias. I made someone's day by just uttering 5 words. What is that, 5 words? Have a fantastic day, 4 words. And it's not a lot of effort, but it's so invigorating to see that smile. And it's an act of kindness. And I tell people, if you start using fantastic, you'll get hired in that position. People will respect you more. They'll never forget you. Because I've asked over 5,000 people if they've ever met someone in their life that says they're fantastic, and only 112 said yes. And this 112 never forgot that person. Maybe forgotten their name, but they never forgot that person. It's the most powerful word that I know of on the planet.
Mhm. Oh, I love
And,
it. Yes.
and so I encourage you, as an ambassador of kindness, to throw away good, replace it with fantastic.
Fantastic. It's a
And
done deal.
we don't have 10 million followers, and I don't want 10 million followers. I want 10,000 that get it, that want and follow the philosophy. I mean, of course, it'd be 10 to get to 10 million that really are believing it, but it's one by one. You're going to introduce it like Vita did to you. You're going to introduce this to people that you love and respect and want to be part of what I call the kindness revolution. It's a revolution, the kindest revolution on the planet. And we need to make this next quarter century and this year filled with kindness.
Yes.
And we need to teach people what they're going to benefit by being kind. But it's more for them than anyone else. You know?
This year is so important. You know, we have gone into the age of Aquarius. I don't know if you're aware of astrology. Okay. So last year we moved into the age of Aquarius. Well, everybody knows the age of Aquarius is supposed to be a great time, right? Evolution, love, thinking about each other, healing the planet, healing ourselves. Okay. And this is a dynasty that's going to last 1,000 years. We just entered it.
That's good news.
This year is our first full year in the age of Aquarius. So
Really?
what happens? Yes. So we're going to be full of chaos, but it can be wonderful chaos. You know, step outside your box, be like a rocket, take off with your manifestations and your good thoughts and your love, and shed at the same time, burn off what doesn't serve you. So it's blow it up this year.
People need to understand how important manifestation is. Now, I shared with you the Global Kindness Pledge. I don't know if you memorized it yet or not, but I want to hear you say it now. Repeat after me. I pledge to be kind to and love myself.
I pledge to be kind and to love myself.
I pledge to be kind and to strive to love all others.
I pledge to be kind and strive to love all others.
I pledge to be kind to love and respect our Mother Earth.
I pledge to be kind and love and respect our Mother Earth.
We are all fantastic.
We are all fantastic.
You are fantastic.
I'm fantastic.
No, I'm
You are
fantastic.
fantastic.
You know, you and I is but you'll get it. But the thing is, that's a manifestation. When you say that every day in the mirror, see, unfortunately, people look in the mirror and say, "I'm a loser. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I need I need hair. I need bigger boobs. I need this or that or the other thing." Instead of saying, "I'm beautiful. I'm kind. I'm loving. I'm giving," it's manifesting that. And if you say you're ugly all day long, you even if everyone else thinks you're beautiful, you're ugly. You know, I think Rene Descartes said it best. I think, therefore I am. So think you're beautiful, think you're kind, think you're giving, think you're loving, think you're benevolent. You know, think all the things you want to be, not the things you think you are. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Makes absolute sense. I get it.
So you are now a director in Missouri. And
Thank you.
I'll send you some instructional videos. It's basically what we talked about here, you know, encouraging people to, you know, be kind. I mean, it's once you get it, you know, most people will not watch this episode here. Most people will not watch the 2,100 videos I have on YouTube, because once you get the philosophy and you agree to be kind, you know, it's a repetitive thing, you know. But there are some interesting, really interesting people in this. And if I interview one ambassador a week, like I'm doing here with you, it's going to take about 400 or 500 years to get through them all. But at the rate they're joining, it'll never end, because there's too many great people that are hearing about this. And everybody, you know, I have a charity now. It's called the Foundation for World Harmony, where we're going to support all our ambassadors, humanitarian initiatives, NGOs, charities, and what have you. We've got, you don't need to have a phone to be an ambassador. We've got hundreds of Ugandan children, orphans, that are ambassadors, and they're reciting the pledge, and they're agreeing to be kind. And it's word of mouth. I think word of mouth is better than having a phone or an internet. Be kind. It's as simple as that.
It's very simple. Yeah. And changing that vibe of humanity is going to change everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Get rid of the greed. If you just can control the greed, we all have lust buttons and greed buttons and different types of buttons. Just got to suppress pushing that button.
And how much does one person need when we talk about greed? How much money do you need to be comfortable?
I've never seen
Really,
a hearse
people-
with a U-Haul behind it.
Exactly. Pharaoh's tried, didn't work out for him so much, did it?
Who's that?
The pharaohs of Egypt.
Pharaoh. Right.
They tried to take it all with them. It didn't work out so much,
Yeah, and people robbed, because there you go. People robbed their tombs for the gold.
Yeah. Like,
Greed.
I'm getting ready to give away a bunch of stuff I have here. Bunch of woodworking stuff.
Yeah, I have when I was living on the island of Belize, or Emperor Key in Belize, I made a little table on the road there. There's only one road in the island, and it's called Give and Get. And people put things that they don't need anymore, and people take things that they like. And so it works out. It's like those book things you see on the side of the road. People drop off books they don't need, and people pick up books that they want. So give and get. It's called Give and Get, and it worked out well there. I also have on that island hundreds of be kind signs. I take a piece of trash, paint it yellow, a piece of wood typically, and put kind words on it, like be kind to others and love and things like that. And it's really a tourist attraction now. And people actually make money now because the people took my advice, and indigenous people from all over the world, or the poor people in Africa, will take that advice and make kind signs and sell them, and they make money from trash. So instead of being in a landfill, I'm an eco artist. I take trash, I make sculptures, I make art, all kind of things. And instead of it being in a trash heap, now it's on someone's wall, making them smile. So I encourage.
Beautiful.
I teach eco art classes as well. But I do need more of a curriculum, and I want to add your curriculums to it, and see if we can work together and share the knowledge, share what you got to do.
Yeah, I love it. One of my big platforms is energy exchange, and that encompasses everything, that we are nothing but energy. The phone is nothing but energy. This wall, it's nothing but energy. It has molecules vibrating inside of it. When those molecules start to disperse, that picture starts to break down, right? So.
Is that a painting?
Yeah, I did that. I actually did that painting.
Very nice. Beautiful.
Took an old piece of plywood and made an ohm out of it. So.
So you took an old piece of trash plywood and you made something beautiful out of it. It's called eco art. I call it eco art.
Yeah. I'm building this whole retreat that way. I have a whole place out here that I'm repurposing and rebuilding, a 100-year-old farmhouse. So
let's call it a fire retreat. Fantastic, inspirational rejuvenation experience.
And we could do that here.
That would be wonderful.
In the middle of the country.
That would be beautiful.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It's part environment, and not everybody wants to be near the water. Some people are afraid of water, I guess. But it has to have nothing but energy, positive energy. It has to have food. I mean, I'm a real big believer in food. I have this particular episode will have one of my cooking shows in it. Every segment has a cooking part in this particular podcast, and you come away renewed, rejuvenated. So yeah, I would love to have you be our first fire retreat.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Hit the middle of the
one of the 5 elements, right? Fire. What is it? Fire, water, earth.
Air
wind, air,
and
what's the-
ether.
Huh?
There's water, fire, earth, air, and then the fifth is ether, the
Okay,
spirit world.
there you go. Yeah, I would be honored to have the first fire retreat there.
That would be great. That's what I've been trying to do is hit the heart of this country with some love and something healing, something tangible, you know?
What is Missouri famous for? Did it have any presidents come out of Missouri?
Let's see. We've had a couple of presidents come out. Of course, we were known for Jesse James. We were known for a lot of things. But we did had, I can't even think of his name. We have the library here. I just went blank. I do that too sometimes. Missouri's known for a lot of good, wholesome things, though. We've had several Olympians come out of here. We've had some really good writers. Hannibal, Herman, Mark Twain. This was kind of his
Mark
turf,
Twain?
you know? Yes.
During
And
during
Twain was a
COVID,
visionary.
I was in St. Louis during COVID, and I went up in the Arch, which is the gateway to the
Mhm.
West, I guess, right?
Yep. Yes. And we have a lot of old history here, though. I mean,
Well,
we
Jesse
have,
James, my goodness,
yep, everybody's related to Jesse James.
everybody
Actually,
knows.
where I live, there was several places where he deposited money and it was given to people. A lot of people don't know this about Jesse James. A lot of that money went to people who needed it, who were in need. And a lot of
Robin
people
Hood,
don't know that. Yeah, he was
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Bad Robin Hood, but he was Robin Hood. You know, he,
And
you
it
know,
wasn't that long ago, the Wild West.
no, no. In my neck of the woods, we're still pretty much country here. I mean, I'm a local, and but there's so many good people that have done good
I've been
things
in
from this
since I've been
country.
here 10 days or so. I've gotten so many ambassadors, but they get it so quickly. And I'm inspired almost to maybe in the summer, if I can raise the money, to do a tour of Missouri and the country, because quite frankly, I haven't seen people get it quickly as Missourians have gotten it. I'll just say a couple words about being kind. And I'm at the cash register at Walmart, and she goes, "Can I have your card?" And I was at a nail salon, bringing my friend to her
Mhm.
nail salon meeting, and a woman in the background heard me talking. She goes, "Can I have your card?" It's like everybody is
Yeah.
enamored with hearing about this kindness revolution.
Well, that's because you've got families, like both sides of my family on my dad's side, were entrepreneurs, they were visionaries, but they were also farmers. They worked with the earth. They have a healthy respect of how to take care of a chicken coop or how to get water. Or, you know, I came from a very entrepreneurial family, but honest, hardworking people. My grandparents helped found, and my great grandparents helped found this area by giving, maybe starting somebody out in a business. Like one guy I know, they gave, he's a millionaire now. He has a concrete company where he raises buildings. My grandfather gave him the money to buy the forms to start that business. That's the way I was brought up. You had family dinners like Christmas Eve. That wasn't an invite. That was mandatory in our family.
Right.
you know, and we didn't give lavish gifts. I can remember my great grandmother and my great aunts and uncles in the Robinette family. There was 14 of those kids. I'm one of 256 great grandchildren from my great grandmother.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a big family. And they would bring my great grandmother, all of those 14 original kids would bring a can of nuts. And she would give them a bag of flour. Huh? My great grandmother for Christmas, the the siblings, the children would bring her, say, a can of mixed nuts. So she had
Oh,
14 cans of mixed nuts. She loved nuts. She gave them a bag of sugar, a bag of cornbread or cornmeal, or a bag of flour, which as a kid, I'm kind of like, it's Christmas. You don't go get groceries. I had one of my great aunts come to Thanksgiving before she passed away. And she came in and she gave me a wrapped present. And I opened it up and it was a package of toilet paper. And I was like, okay. She's like, Merry Christmas. And she was so happy to give me the gift. So I called up Grandma going, Grandma, I think Aunt Pauline's losing it. She said, what? I said, she gave me a package of toilet paper for Christmas. And she said, honey, in our family, in that family, practicality, what you really need down the road is what's important.
Yeah.
And that's the way they gave gifts.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
It's too commercialized. Christmas is too commercialized now, but yeah, that's a great story. I love it. I've never heard of anyone getting toilet paper, but that's wonderful,
Oh, yeah. I was like, thank you, Aunt Pauline.
What I loved about Southern Bells when I first started traveling at 17, I hitchhiked around the world at 17 without a dime in my pocket. And I met beautiful girls that were down to earth. The Southern Bells, Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta for a while. It was really an amazing experience. I'll never forget that because, when you go to the big city, all of a sudden, those pretty girls can turn into rotten little apples, But people that are down to earth are the what do they call salt of the earth, right? I mean, they're wonderful human beings, and it's not about beauty; it's about inside beauty,
Yeah. Yeah. Like my kids have always said, all hell breaks loose in this country. Everybody's coming to my house because I know how to survive.
Yeah, I was going to mention that earlier because when shit hits the fan, as it were, if you don't have a source of water like a stream or the know-how to plant a garden or to be self-sufficient, they're called preppers nowadays. It's going to be sad, and especially if you're in the big city. And the country folk, boy, they're gonna outlive everybody because they know how to survive. There's these survival shows that are out on television showing people how they can survive. And I think there's one show called Naked in Africa or something like that. They're set these people loose naked in the jungle to see if they can survive. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like I tell people. I watched one of your casts when you were talking about having a gun. That a lot of people go, ooh, I mean, I live right on a highway, on a major highway. My house is like, I'm hidden in plain sight. I'm right here on the highway. Nobody knows I'm here, but I'm right there in front of you. I'm hidden in plain sight,
Right.
And I say, well, I might be a yogi and I might be a humanitarian and I might love life, but, I will take care of myself.
Unfortunately, the evil of humankind, when the shit hits the fan, you're going to need a gun because people are going to, if they know that you have food or water, they're going to come for you.
That's just practical. That's just being real.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people steal from me right off this highway. Well, they must have needed it more than I did.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a little saying. You're going to like this saying. Our ambassadors of kindness don't lie, steal, cheat, fight, or kill. But if you must lie next to someone that you love. If you must steal away from bad company. If you must cheat death. If you must fight tyranny. And if you must kill a bad habit.
That's an awesome. I love that. All of that. I had people that have broken into my storage units, and I have more than I need. I give it away all the time. I probably would have given it to them if they just asked.
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
I always say, if you don't ask someone, they can't answer.
Yeah.
So if Vita didn't ask you if you wanted to be part of this kindness revolution, you could have answered. So now it's up to you. I want you to make Missouri the most kindness state in the union and lead an example to the other states, and it'll migrate like it did in Africa. I'm in 34 countries in Africa, and they love me in Africa. They love, I don't know, me. They love my philosophy, and America needs to adopt this philosophy as the world does, because the two words will save the planet. Be kind.
I'll tell you what, Missouri won't be too hard to be the best state in the U.S.
No, I've been very impressed on the reception I've gotten. And I didn't go out that much here. But it's like I couldn't believe it. I mean, people they just want to know more. It's really exciting.
I was at a training workshop in Manhattan, the Flatiron District, and we were doing this big Mahasadhana, which is a master yoga course. People were coming from all over the country, Germany, Sweden, it was Dharma Mitra's birthday, and we all would go there, to learn from the great. And there was women and men there from Germany and Sweden and New Zealand and Australia. And I was talking and they picked up on my accent and they're like, "Where are you from?" I said, "Missouri." And they're like, "Missouri?" I said, "Yeah, United States, Missouri, part of the country." I had people taking pictures of me. Now, these are people from all over the world. And they're like, "She's from Missouri. I've never met anybody from Missouri." It's just like, oh my gosh.
Who has?
I had so much fun with those people, though. It was just, they were refreshing. I had a great time in Manhattan,
Well, it should be 50 countries, not 50 states, because you're as different a country as California is.
Yes.
Missouri,
Yeah, we're very different in this country.
Well,
very,
by the
very
way,
different.
the kindness pledge, as I told you, I want you to try to spread it in the schools, because that pledge is not political, it's not commercial, and it's not religious. It's about our future, to be kind. And if the children of the world recite it daily, it'll manifest itself in their thinking, in their actions, and in the world. So it really is a pledge that could really make a big difference in the world.
I've got a grandson that has a lot of influence at school. We'll take care of that.
There you go. Now, all you need to do is send me their first name when they become an ambassador, when you invite them, and then I'll send them a welcome text. And it'll, as did you read your welcome text yet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, most people don't. I think the world has an attention span of about a minute, and if you have to read more than a minute, I lose them. But there's a lot of information there,
Yeah. Yes, there is. So,
and so I fully intend to see Missouri. And again, your Missouri is fantastic. Then we're going to do St. Louis and St. Clair and Imperial, and let's get all the. I don't know how many cities there are in Missouri, but there's got to be quite a few.
Kansas City, St. Louis, Jefferson City, Columbia. I got them all.
Listen, all we need is one admin in each, because one of our goals, because you're part of the team now, is to get an ambassador of kindness in every city on the planet. There's 10,000 cities on the planet. And even if they just, that one admin adds their wife or their child, that's 30,000, 60,000, more thousands. And so that's one of my goals, is to get more groups. And every day you get a motivational quote, like I sent today. By the way, the one I sent out today, along with Eckhart Tolle's, was I said, think you're happy and you will be happy. Life is easier than you've been told, because people are so fearful, and again, this false expectations appearing real, that many people have been told, if you don't go to school, you'll be a failure. You don't get married by 30, you'll be an old hag. I know billionaires that didn't go to school, so and we're learning so much more about how the mind works. And just we're learning so much about everything. In the old days, because of money, they were they convinced you by legislation that smoking was healthy for you, because that made money.
Yeah.
And they teach you a lot of stuff that's not correct.
Yeah, and now they have stuff to help you stop smoking, which is big money.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
It's all about money. It all comes down to money.
Yeah.
You keep people unhealthy, it's good for big pharma. We keep the wars going, it's good for the military industrial complex. It's just a shame that and throughout history, I'll never forget. I hate war, of course. Who likes it, except for the people that make money from it. I opened up a Bible in Egypt. It was sitting on the side of the road. Um, and I don't read the Bible, but I opened it up, and the first paragraph on the left side said, "It was spring, the time when kings go off to war." And I thought, how insane is that? The weather's good, so let's go to
Yeah.
war. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's insane. Again, the insanity of humanity.
Yeah.
And with
What
people
war
like
did
you,
we ever?
people like Vita, and the other 10,166 ambassadors out there that are part of this revolution,
Mhm.
I think we can make a dent in people's thinking. But the pledge, I think, is the future. The children, I was always asked for years, who's my target audience? I said, anybody who can think is my target audience, because everybody should be
Mhm.
kind. I don't care what age you are. But
Mhm.
we've been ingrained that money is important, so we have to really start with the children, teaching them to love themselves, teaching them to not have to stop bullying and teasing and fighting and cheating and lying and stealing, all the things that people do, um,
Mhm.
and be kind to our planet. Respect our
Mhm.
Mother Earth, use less, buy less, recycle, repurpose, reformat, like you and I are doing. So it's been a real pleasure to meet you. This is the first
Yeah.
day of the rest of your life. Uh,
Yes,
let's
sir.
let's well, it's easy to start a group. I don't know if you know WhatsApp. It's really easy. You make me an
Mhm.
admin, you're an admin, and then your friend an admin, and then
Mhm.
when people join, we can put them in St. Louis or Kansas City or the different groups, and
Mhm.
we don't talk politics in these groups. We don't talk religion. We have a religious group if you want to be in religion. We have a business group if you want to be talk business, but we only talk positive things in these groups. There's enough
Yes.
negativity on the news.
Absolutely.
Pam, you
Yes.
are
Yes.
fantastic. You are truly fantastic. So happy to have you part of the family now, the global community. We're in 145 countries, believe it or not. Sometimes it's just one person in that
Awesome.
country, but it's a start.
Yeah. One
It's a
person at a
start.
time.
One person. That's what's neat about it is I don't have 10 million followers, but it's one. They all know me.
Mhm.
Or I've heard been introduced or I know the
Right.
philosophy. So that's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. Well, we would love to do a retreat here, your fire retreat.
That'd be
And
great. Let's
if
let's
you're
let's
ever in my neck of the
work on
woods, come say hi.
that. You got it. Have a fantastic 2025. You are a fantastic person. Throw away the word good. Throw it away. Watch what
Done.
happens. I'm telling people lately, do the fantastic challenge. 3 times a day for the next 30 days, say, I am fantastic out loud in the mirror or just out loud. And you'll manifest that.
Yes, sir.
Be
Yes.
fantastic.
And I'll be
You
sharing
can
it with my
be,
students.
you can be what you want to be. Be fantastic. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed meeting Pam. I certainly did. And tell a friend. Sharing is caring, caring is kindness, and kindness leads to happiness. And this is the complete guide to happiness, where we can meet people that
Mhm.
are happy, like Pam here. And we want everyone to be happy. But you've got to make yourself happy. No one's going to make you happy. We could teach you how to be happy, express to you the benefits of being happy, but you got to decide you want to be happy. Like Abraham Lincoln
Allow
said,
yourself.
Folks are just about as kind as they want to make themselves to be.
Mhm.
I think that's the accent for Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Pam, let's talk often and
Yes.
stay tuned for the cooking episode, everybody.
Welcome to the Be Fantastic channel, where you will find many fantastic interviews with amazing people,
Visit the top world museums,
incredible zoos,
beautiful national parks.
special events, and much more.
These videos are designed to educate,
Inspire.
motivate, and entertain you.
We hope you will enjoy them.
Join the Be Fantastic philosophy.
Please subscribe.
Like and share.
Welcome to another edition of Dr. Fantastic Cooks. I'm not going to be doing the cooking tonight. I'm in Imperial, Missouri, and Grandma Robin, is going to be doing the cooking. We showed you a couple days ago the sous vide way to cook prime rib, and then we cooked some ribeye in the sous vide method. Today we're going to use, what's it called?
We're using an Instapot.
Instapot. I haven't heard of that one before.
It's a safe on-the-counter pressure cooker.
It's a safe on-the-counter pressure cooker. Then we turn the camera around and we're going to see how they do it in Missouri. As she searches for the oil, there's olive oil over there. There's the air fryer she's got. Then she's got the crock pot, which we all know about that. Then there's the Instapot, and she's got the KitchenAid. So we're going to make stew tonight. She's going to combine the potatoes, the onions, celery, carrots, spices, garlic salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and some ground cumin. There she is. There's the chef. She's been cooking for generations, or decades, I should say, not generations. They're both the same, I think. You used to cook for 20 people?
15, 20 kids every night for 15 years when my children were teenagers. We were like the house that had two parents that were still married and cared about the kids, and I made sure I made enough food every night to feed 20 kids.
That's a lot of cooking. And there's the granddaughter, Reagan. Oh, she's shy.
She's usually not.
Is Grandma a good cook, Reagan? Yeah, she shakes her head yes. Okay, we're gonna watch Grandma cook some stew.
It was actually vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
In the Instapot, and I'm going to take the stew meat, and I'm seasoning my flour with some pepper, some garlic powder.
And of course, she takes after me. She's got a drink. She's got a drink in case everything comes out.
Yeah, that's
not too poorly. She's got a sharp knife.
And I won't care.
Yeah, that's the reason you have a drink while you're cooking.
Right, and a little bit of cumin.
Get some other frozen vegetables.
Just a little bit of cumin.
A little bit of cumin.
All right.
So you usually put it on saute, so she doesn't have to use another pan. She uses one pot. So she'll take the beef.
I'm just gonna take the beef and break it up into pieces and coat it with flour. What this does is it makes the stew a little thicker because of the flour coating with the seasonings. Just once around with them and then just start putting them into the Instapot. Shake them off.
Fast, easy, stress-free. Right? Comes out perfect every time. Right?
You know, when we were making food for all those kids, you know, things were cheaper. I don't know how people get by these days because we ate a lot of Hamburger Helper. And we ate a lot of chicken and rice. And the kids still tell me to this day, every time I eat chicken and rice, I think of you, Mom. So, but hey, it's the only thing that went far enough that I could afford to make for everybody.
Well, it's fantastic that you fed that many people.
A lot of them live with me, but all of them I still know. They still call me Mama Robin.
And nobody broke your spirit.
Nothing's ever broken my spirit. Oh my gosh, if you heard my life story, you'd be like, what? That's fiction. But it's not. I'm writing a book by the same title, but it didn't break my spirit. So I'm trying to help other people going through things realize that you can get through to the other side, because I did, and my family did. And we've had 3 fires where we lost almost everything we owned in my lifetime. And I have many, many weird, unheard of, rare, uncurable diseases. And, you know, we've just been through so much, and every day I have a reason to smile. And I think my perspective is different than most people's, because I try to find something positive in everything negative that's ever happened to me. And if people just go around and they have that kind of an attitude, think of how things could be. You know,
Thinking positive is
having
the answer.
hope.
Yeah.
You know, having hope for the future.
Don't let things, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
That's right. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It wouldn't be the first time. So
Okay, the last of the beef is going in, and she's about to stir it. And there goes the saute stir.
I'm just going to stir it around and get a little bit of brown. The reason you do this is not only to thicken the broth, but it's called braising. And you either do it before you cook something in the oven. You should always braise it on the broiler or on the barbecue.
Seal the juice in.
To seal the juices in. And then you cook it slowly. And what this does, it's a pressure cooker, so it's going to cook it in a third of the time as I would have had to have it on the stove. And it's self-contained. I can just put it on one pot and not worry about it again. I don't have to stir it, nothing. So it's awesome. My daughter, this is a 6-quart. My daughter has an 8-quart. And it's like this big, and she came back and took it from me. I had both of them for a long time. It was nice. Chopped celery.
Chopped celery.
Chopped onion.
Onion. 1 whole onion. Couple celery stalks.
Some carrots.
Couple carrots. Sliced and diced.
And I think this is way too much potatoes. Let me see what's going on.
It's 5
here.
potatoes, so put...
I don't think it's all going to fit.
Yeah.
Let me see what we can do. I always you know, I think it's from years and years of cooking for so many people.
You just got to feel it, you know?
It's like I always overcook still. And I have only one child left at home, and he's 26. So it's like I'm always overcooking, overestimating everything.
Yeah, that's pretty full. So maybe 4 potatoes.
Yeah, probably 3.5, 4 potatoes. That's how much I'm gonna leave out.
Look, Grandma.
Why did you do that? Onions, peas, and carrots.
Oh,
And I use frozen because they taste more like fresh. I'm gonna pour those in there.
I think frozen is wonderful because it's flash frozen when
Frozen.
they're fresh.
And I prefer not to use canned goods at all because they have preservatives and they're mushy, and we try to only use fresh or frozen vegetables. A quart of beef stock, beef broth.
A quart of beef broth. Final touch. To cover the mixture. And you're going to have a hearty stew.
And the celery and the carrots, the fresh ones that I put in there, and the frozen vegetables are going to give the moisture.
You don't need more to cover it all?
And I'm going to put a little bit of water in there, and then I'm going to add a few seasonings to make sure that it tastes uniform. Its own juice from the carrots and the celery.
Not too much. And she's going to put enough liquid in to cover the concoction.
Okay, and I have a secret ingredient. Now, has anybody heard of kitchen bouquet?
Me.
I know you have, Maria.
It's great to have kids because she's out of the kitchen bouquet secret ingredient, and it's freezing outside, and she's going to send one of her kids out to buy the kitchen bouquet. Great news, they found the kitchen bouquet.
This is what it looks like. It's a browning agent, and it's a very strong, dark, flavor-enhancing sauce that you put just a tiny bit. In this big pot, I'm only gonna put a little bit.
Couple tablespoons, huh?
I'd say probably 1 tablespoon.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stir it up and see how dark it looks.
There you go. That's a big pot of stew.
It is. But it'll be okay. It'll cook down.
Well, everyone, there is the finished product, Missouri stew. But I have to make a note. As I tell you, you should have a cocktail when you're making it. in case it doesn't come out well. But you can't have too many cocktails. The chef had too many beers, and she passes out before it was over. So, but it came out pretty well. Not as good as my black bear stew from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. You got to watch that episode. That was incredible stew. I was camping and I cooked up a big 20 pounds of black bear for all the campers. It was fantastic. Have a fantastic week, everyone. See you next week. Whatever you're doing that's making you happy, keep doing it. And always think happy. Think happy. And so wraps another edition of the Complete Guide to Happiness. Hope you enjoyed it. Whatever you did this last week that made you happy, keep doing it every day. It's up to you to be happy. No one's going to make you happy. You've got to decide you want to be happy. And as I said earlier, Abraham Lincoln said, folks who usually are happy or put it in their minds to be happy. Something like that. Have a fantastic week. Do random acts of kindness. You'll be surprised. And do the fantastic pledge. Say, I am fantastic every day in the mirror this week. 3 times, not in the mirror, just out loud. Shout it, scream it. Say, I am fantastic. Say it with emotion and passion, and you will be fantastic. Watch, and in the comments below, let me know how it worked out for you, because I promise you, you'll feel better. You'll feel fantastic, actually. See you next week. Be kind to yourself, be kind to all others, and be kind to Mother Earth.
I met Dr. Fantastic along life's way, and I heard him say, you gotta say,